400 million people, 64 countries.
You're joking, really?
It became MTV's biggest show that they had.
You didn't expect Dirty Sanchez to blow up the way it did?
No, of course not. We just thought it was going to be, but that was it. You know, we'll do a show and that will be us done. Have a laugh while it's here. You know, we cheated the system. We were having a laugh at getting paid to get to party, have a laugh. Amazing. You know, and then doing the stuff we were doing as well. It was pretty full on, but that was the nature of what we did, and that's the nature of what we signed up for. So it's going to take its toll.
And I remember seeing you at Bar M on stage.
That is what brought me to Ibiza. It was Ibiza. We could get away with a bit more. Some of the stuff we were doing was shocking. I knew that the best place to be to party was Ibiza. Literally, within one night, I just fell in love with the island, and I just didn't want to go home the next day. I don't know. I've just got this thing where giving up just isn't an option.
Your house is mine.
But thank you very much for joining me, Matt. I'm honoured to have you on here. The thing is, I've got so much common ground with you over the years, and I remember you from the very original Dirty Sanchez days, and then I remember you in coming to Ibiza, and you were doing your stuff in Ibiza. And I think, when did you stop drinking? It was a few years ago, wasn't it? Now,
October the 6th, 2022.
And was that out of necessity, or is that just personal choice?
I just lost the plot. There was a lot of stuff happening in my life, and I know it, and I knew I was sort of drinking to try and block it all out and do it. I'm just, in the end, I went, that's it. This has to stop.
Yeah.
You get to this road, you get to a junction. You can either go right and carry on doing what you're doing, and everything is just going to go to pot. You're going to lose everything, or you do the left and do something about it. So I took the left, and I'm glad I did.
Well done. I hit rock bottom several times with alcohol. It was every day, you know, and it just. But the booze was a thing that really I could drink to oblivion, and cause chaos and destruction in my life like I wouldn't believe. And so I took that right. I had to go and get help. The 12 steps of recovery. But I know people who've gone the other way, and they're no longer with us. And it's given me a new life, really. I don't know whether you feel this aspect, like you see and feel things in a new way, and you look back on that person and you're like, wow, I don't even recognize that person from that way I am now.
I've done a completely different person to what I was. I've done a lot of work on myself with therapy and exercise, loads of stuff, plant medicines and everything. Done loads of work, and I look back. There's so many things that I've recognized from back in the day, and I mean, it is what it is. I'm not gonna. There's no point crying over it. I did what I did, and happy days, man. But it's it's when I got rid of all drink and everything, then you have to sort of try and deal with that person that you were constantly running away from.
Yeah,
and that was the hard part, really. And that's why it's taken me pretty much. It's still work in progress, and that's why it's taken me 3 years. Really took over 3 years to get to where I am now.
well, I'm 9 years without picking up a drink, and you have to deal with yourself every single day and why you were drinking and why you were doing that stuff. And I think that's a lot of the reason why I went to Ibiza. It was kind of normal over there just to be off your nut all the time. And I lived there the winters as well. And it was even worse in the winter because you ain't got anything to do. So because this was before remote working, before social media, before any of that. So literally we had the Ship and a couple of other pubs open in the West End that you know well. And we used to be drunker in the winter than we were in the summer.
I flew over to San Ann in the winter once, January, with Slipmat and Leach. And I just thought, well, Ibiza's going to be shit at this time. Yeah. But we managed to find a party, and man, Christ, we literally were, got proper. Got stuck and went straight from the party straight to the plane like it was the summer.
Exactly. It was messy times. And I remember, talking of Matt, I remember a summer when Matt missed every one of his flights home every one of his flights.
If
He
you haven't
missed.
done that a night before, you haven't done it properly.
I sent you over some questions a couple of days ago, but I kind of I've been really fascinated about your journey, and I've been doing a bit more research over the last few days, and I've gone down the rabbit hole a little bit with you. And you know what, Pritch, I've never taken so many notes on somebody in all my life, and you've done so much, and it's like from all the way from you were being you were a pro skateboarder, then decided to film, that got taken up by MTV, and then the 15 years of Dirty Sanchez, that coming to an end, and then this new life that you have now with Dirty Vegan and your YouTube channel that started all that off. It's and all your challenges now that you do, like the rowing the Atlantic. I mean, that is quite something. It's all extreme though, isn't it?
Yeah, there's been quite a few chapters in my life. Yeah, it'll make for a good book one day. But,
honestly, I've interviewed. This is my 49th, maybe this might even be my year. I don't know. It's over my 50th interview, but I've never had to make so many notes on someone, which is crazy.
Yeah.
I used to when we were back youngsters back working in Ibiza. I don't know do you remember a place in the West End called Gorm's Garage?
No.
It was one of the bars up on the West End, and we always used to have MTV on. We used to have little TV screens all around, and one of the reoccurring programs at that time in the morning was Dirty Sanchez, and it was just kind of like when it was a bit of a quiet moment of the night between bar crawls and stuff like that, we always used to watch Dirty Sanchez. But now this was like back in the early days. Can you remember what year that was when it first started?
2001.
2001. So I was in Gorm's Garage 2003. So I remember it must have been at the early stages, and then you guys,
it was proper kicking in then.
Yeah. So you guys come over to Ibiza, and you were doing your live stage show, and I remember seeing you at Bar M on stage. Do you remember those days?
That is what brought me to Ibiza.
Yeah.
It was we had a residency in Bar M, which was on the beach there.
Yeah.
Well, Ibiza Rocks in Bar M. And because I always wanted to, I always loved partying. I was a late starter, but I knew that the best place to be to party was Ibiza. But I never ever got to the island, and I always wanted to go. And then Sanchez happened, and then her agent called us up and said, "Oh, we got a residency in Ibiza Rocks." I was like, "What?" It was like, yes, this was music to my ears. I'm finally going to Ibiza, man. I was so excited. I remember being on the plane. I was like a little kid in a sweet shop. I'm like, I turned up, did the gig. It was packed,
wasn't it? Absolutely rammed.
It was proper, like, it was amazing. And like, it was Ibiza. We could get away with a bit more. There was some of the stuff we were doing was shocking. I think we were doing we did not the Stella enema. I did a cocktail enema, but
you did.
She drank it. People were like puking in the front, and
that's right. Yeah.
And then after, I was like, "Well, I'm in Ibiza. Like, where do I go?" Because I didn't know. And then opposite it was a Sunday crew there, and it was Judgement Sundays, and somebody said, "Well, go to Eden because it's Judge Jules' thing."
Yeah.
And I was like, and it was only over there, and I was like, "Ah, sound." So I went there. And they introduced me to Big Nick. Big Nick then gave me an envelope, like he did.
Yeah.
Have a good time. I opened it up.
The envelopes.
Yeah, you can use your imagination. And then I was like, man, this place is absolutely...
Those are the golden days, man.
Literally, within one night, I just fell in love with the island. And I was like, I just didn't want to go home the next day. And then I couldn't wait to come back again. And then... that was it then. And every time I come back on the Sunday, straight to Judgement Sundays, got to know that crew really well. And yeah, that was it. Fell in love with.
They were really, really good years. Do you know what? I'm just, when you said about the stuff you were doing on stage, I think one of those events, I helped John ship out doing some security there. And I'm pretty sure, we had to carry a couple of girls out. It was proper minging. But, you then came back and you did things like Clubland and stuff like that, didn't you?
Yes, Simon Bolofsky, he booked us to do, I think it was me and Dave, we did Clubland, which was in Paradise.
Mm.
I was constantly back and forth the island for a few years, I think. And then, but I got to know quite a few people there. And even when I wasn't working, I was just at any given opportunity where I had some free time, I'd just get a ticket, fly to Ibiza.
Yeah.
Let's go and have a laugh.
Because I remember seeing you over there. I remember seeing Pancho.
Yeah.
He was always in like one of the pubs.
I think Pritchard spent like a month there at one point.
He was there a lot. I remember he was always outside the Highlander having a beer. I remember always, or a cider or whatever. I remember those times. But so when you obviously, where are you from in Wales?
Cardiff.
You're from Cardiff, and so you were into skateboarding, and you videoing the skateboarding. How did that lead into the Dirty Sanchez type of thing?
I've been a skateboarder since I was 15, and that's what I did. It's my first love, really. That's all I ever did. And we, met all my friends through skateboarding, and we, Bam McGarry was doing a thing called CKY out in America at the time, and we started doing a video over here called Pritchard versus Dayton. There was skateboarding in there. There was loads of pranks and stuff like that. Pants, Joyce, me, Dave, and it got released. And I was working for Globe Skateboard Shoes at the time. I was a team manager, and I got a call at the office from a talent scout called Marta Delap, and she said, "Can you come to London? We need to have a meeting." And that's when we went to MTV. Me and Dave. She said, "Oh, we gave him the Pritchard versus Dayton video." And then they called us back 2 days later. "Oh, can you come back? But this time, can you bring Tracy and Panch?" And the four of us had a meeting, and that's how Dirty Sanchez was born.
Wow. And that was, because I remember that was after this Jackass. Jackass
was playing in America at the time, and that's why they were trying to find a British version of it, and that's what they called us.
And it certainly was.
It's the same thing they called Jersey Shore. They do Geordie Shore.
Yeah, they've got different things.
They wanted to post.
Was that the MTV offices in Camden?
That's the one, yeah.
Fucking hell, I've got loads of mates who used to work there. Yeah, because it's weird we're having this conversation now because they've just closed down, haven't they? A couple of weeks ago, the MTV channels have gone. Yeah, I think, what was it? They've got, after 32 years or something, they're no longer on air.
End of an era, man.
Did you expect? I know what you're going to say. You didn't expect Dirty Sanchez to blow up the way it did.
No, of course not. I just thought it was going to be, but that was it. We'll do a show, and that will be us done. Have a laugh while it's here. When it became MTV's biggest show that they had when it went to 400 million people, 64 countries.
You're joking, really? So it's 15 years. Now do you think that had a lot of toll on your health doing a lot of the stuff that you did? And yeah.
Of course. And it was great. You're young, you get this opportunity to travel the world with your mates. We cheated the system. We were having a laugh, getting paid to party, have a laugh. Amazing. But and then doing the stuff we were doing as well was pretty full on, but that was the nature of what we did, and that's the nature of what we signed up for. So it's going to take its toll, but
yeah,
it is. And I like, as soon as the TV stuff finished, we were doing live stuff like nightclubs and doing the nightclub circuit and festivals and stuff like that. Me and Dayton went off and we did the Pritchard versus Dayton thing, which started Sanchez, and so me and him would go on stage doing stuff like that. But then at the same time, I looked and I thought, Christ Almighty, because I was such a fit person. Then when I looked at myself, I thought, Christ Almighty, I was bloated. I was just looking.
Yeah.
I thought, right, I'm gonna have to do something about this. So that was about 2009, 2010. I started running again, and that's when I went because I did the Cardiff Half Marathon when I was 15. I thought, let's train and do that again. So and that's when I sort of started my fitness thing. But back then I was burning candle at both ends. So I was doing the party and doing my fitness. And me and Dayton were on the road. Christ, the amount of times that I'd sign up for a marathon or something. They were normally on a Sunday, a marathon, and almost every time I signed up for one, there was like a gig the night before. So I'd literally go on stage, do the gig, and get wrecked. By the time I get back to Cardiff, straight to the start of the marathon.
Would you still do it?
Huh?
Would you still do the marathon?
Yeah, I still did it. Yeah,
That's
but
serious
I
mental
went,
strength.
and I went to the start of quite a few Cardiff halves, still going from the night before.
No way.
Yeah, it was. I used to. I thought, no, that's more of a challenge. If I can do it with no sleep, uh, yeah, it's good, man. It's good fun. I couldn't do that. No chance.
No. Because when in my drinking days, I used to keep fit. I used to go to the gym every day. I used to do a lot of running. And I used to reward myself with getting smashed. Anything to celebrate, I'd get smashed.
Yeah,
you know.
Exactly same year. As soon as I finished training, I've done my training, get smashed.
Yeah.
Finished the event, get smashed.
Yeah. Oh, I've had this win at work today. Let's get smashed, And it was when I started to black out and not remember where I was and then it started affecting my family. And then and I was just realizing, well, you can't actually go anywhere without a drink. That's when I knew there was a big problem. The veganism. I just want to go and touch on that bit. When did you first start looking into that? Because you've kind of made veganism pretty cool compared to how it used to be. Because when I looked at vegans before, it can be a pretty boring subject. People don't like to talk about it, and it was in an exciting way. But then you had your YouTube channel, didn't you? And you spiced things up, and then you had Dirty Vegan. How many series has that been on BBC?
Well, I went vegan in 2015, and then I got me back in the kitchen, and I was a chef by trade.
Right.
Started my YouTube channel, Pritchard Proper Vegan Cooking, and it's when I started doing that BBC came knocking, and they wanted to do something, so we did. That's when we started Dirty Vegan, and I did two series of that. 2019, 2020, just before COVID hit.
Okay.
And there was books off the back of there was a book to go with the first series, there was a book to go with the second series, but yeah, it was I don't know, it's mad, man, going from what I used to do
to being,
because on BBC Wales it was on prime time, it was 7 o'clock in the night. So from being somebody shoving drumsticks up his ass to then showing people how to do vegan cooking at prime time was just, I don't know, it must have been weird for quite a few people. It was definitely weird for me, but I enjoyed it, man. It was good. It's good fun.
It's a fascinating journey. I know I've looked into your book as well. And I've just seen how many reviews it's got. It's got like 2,500 reviews. That's nuts. That's nuts in itself. And then you've obviously got into have you always been into the ultra fitness type of thing? Because what you do is like triathlons and what is it? I think you did like a 30-day Ironman in 30 days. Is that right?
Yeah. Well, everything I do, if I get into something, I'm going to do it
all in.
Yeah, I'm all in. I'm not going to fuck about. But it's because that's when my fitness journey began in 2009. Ran from John O'Groats to Land's End with two friends. Did that in 30 days, and then I was wanted to do an Ironman, and then I did my first Ironman, 2011, which was Bolton. And off the back of that, I was like, well, I just keep, well, I've done that. How can I get more? I knew there was a double Ironman, so that's 5-mile swim, 224-mile bike, and a 52-mile run. So I did that, and then I realized there was a triple. So did a triple one, and then the ultimate was a decker, which is 10 full Ironman in 10 days, which is that. Well, I did the continuous. There's two versions. There's one Ironman every day for 10 days, which is a 2.5-mile swim, 112-mile bike ride, and a full marathon. Or you can do the whole thing, but it's called continuous. The continuous decker. So you do all those swims in one hit. So that was a 25-mile swim in a 25-mile pool, back to 4, get out, and then do the 1,112-mile bike ride, and then followed up by was this some crazy
number. Yeah.
run, something like that.
So
Anyway,
that will be in one hit, in one
yeah,
go. How long would that take?
it took me 10 days.
How do you sleep and stuff? Did you have
Uh,
you get to?
Now, like an hour here, an hour there. You just grabbed what you can.
Oh,
What you can. But
that
I
is
got to
torture.
when I got to the bike, because the bike was on a 7-mile loop. The run was on a 1-mile loop. So you just keep going around in circles until you've clocked up the miles. So my ass was just so raw from sitting down in it. It was all red raw. My skin had been taken off, and I was riding for 21 hours a day, and sleeping 3, up again, back. So I was on the bike for 5 days doing that non-stop, absolutely screwed. And it was one of the hottest days at the time. It was the hottest weeks Britain's ever seen. So just absolutely
Typical.
it was great though. I mean, when I finished, I don't know, it was just, it almost, for me, because I started my Ironman journey in 2011, for me, it felt like I'd sort of completed, when you do play a computer game,
Yeah.
you complete the big boss. It felt like I'd completed the big boss of triathlon. So I still do triathlons and Ironmans. I'm actually signed up for Ironman Wales now this year, but I don't do it to beat anyone or anything. I just do it for the enjoyment.
How do you get into the mental space of dealing with the pain and the sheer exhaustion of doing something like that? You must get into a zone somewhere, because 99% of people would quit that because of the pain and the endurance side of things. Do you go somewhere in your head what do you concentrate on?
Yes, good question. I just have this ability to be able to,
Yeah.
because when I switch off, it's almost like I go into this meditative state.
That's
and
what I'm going to ask.
Nothing else. I can't hear anything else. I'm just in this zone. And it's the best place to be ever, man. I absolutely love it. It's completely switched off from the world. Nothing bothers you. And it's just like, as soon as you wake up from that, you'll realize where you are and what you're doing. And oh shit, you're in absolute agony. But it's just the will not to, I don't know, I've just got this thing where giving up just isn't an option. And it's just, and that's just no way going to happen unless I break my legs or something really drastic happens. I'll just keep going until I have to.
It sounds like people like yourself can just get into like this different part of their brain that can just switch off. And do you meditate normally?
No, I can't.
No, you can't now because of the noise.
My head. But the only time I can meditate is when I'm either running, cycling, or not so much cycling.
Ain't that mad?
I got to be alert on a bike because I'm on the road. But when I'm running or when I'm swimming, doesn't happen all the time. But when I switch off, wow, man, it's just peace. It's just amazing.
That's so bizarre that you don't meditate. I thought that was one thing that you would do, especially as doing these huge challenges. And talking of like pain, you rode the Atlantic, yes?
Yeah, I rode it in 2021.
And you had to be naked because of that, because of the sores and the.
Yeah, I mean, if you because there's the sea salt and everything, sort of rubs, chafes, and just caught, and then you have to look after it because the last thing you want out there is an infection. So you're constantly. I mean, it was 2 hours on, 2 hours off, 24/7, and once you come off the oars, you've got to look after all your cuts, your bruises. Then you've got to feed yourself before you even think about sleeping. And so you get about an hour's sleep, and then you got to wake up and then go again. Then another hour's do the stuff.
I remember you doing it. Yeah,
52 days took us.
I was like, what the fuck's he doing? I remember him dancing around on the stage, sticking drumsticks up your ass, and enemas and stuff like that. Now, was there 2 of you doing it or 3?
No, it was 4 of us.
4 of you, right? I was trying to figure it out this morning.
We're in groups of 2. So 2
right.
will row, come into the thingy, look after themselves, feed themselves while we're rowing, and then just keeps turning that
Right. It now makes sense, because I was trying to figure out this morning, because you mentioned something. I was watching just a clip on YouTube about you changing over, and then I thought you mentioned about another couple, but then I thought, no, it must be just another person. So how big is the boat? Do you have like sleeping quarters at either end, was it, or
Sleeping quarters in one end, and with all your comms and all that kind of stuff. And the other end is where you keep some of your food and all the supplies that you need and all that kind of stuff. But the boat's not, it's really small. Like when you're sleeping, you're literally on top of your mate almost,
really?
trying to sleep, and then
52 days, so almost 2 months. I bet you were
Yeah.
glad when that was over.
Yeah, I don't know, because I actually enjoyed it. It was tough, but it was, I don't know, man. I can't explain it. I just really enjoyed the peace of being like the scenery and being sat there just rowing, not having to worry about emails. Your
Yeah.
phone's pinging, no social media, no nothing. All I had to do was row, eat, sleep, and repeat, and being surrounded by the best scenery. That's ace.
Yeah. No,
And
I did.
It's like, oh,
Wow. And the stars must have been amazing. Yeah.
Stars was the best thing ever, man. In the
Yeah.
night, especially if the sea was calm,
Yeah.
there's no wind, you're just rowing because there's no light.
No neon coming up in
There's
UV.
no light to destroy the and I'm just rowing, just looking at this one, like nature cinema was just, and the noise and the swilling of the water. There we are. That's meditation right there.
No, I live on a little island, and it doesn't give off a lot of light. So, especially in the winter, without all the clubs being open, on the beach and stuff.
Light pollution. That's
Yeah, we can see all the stars all the time, and my children just look up at them, and they've got names for them and things like that. But it is absolutely beautiful. But I remember when Ibiza used to go through its regular power cuts, because they were over the bars and the clubs would open and the generators would obviously overload, and there used to be these blackouts in San Antonio. But the one thing that everyone used to do was just look up, because the whole island was black.
Yeah.
The stars lit up, so all of a sudden it was just like this beautiful and this contrast, and as soon as the lights come on again, it had gone. Incredible what a difference the UV makes. Now, with you got into veganism, you watched Cowspiracy, is that correct?
Conspiracy, yeah.
Is that the thing that like kind of spiked your interest in
Yeah, well, I was looking at veganism quite a bit, and because there's a lot of ultra endurance athletes who are vegan, and I was always trying to figure out why. And then I watched Cowspiracy, and that was like the eye opener for me, and it just made me realize that, fuck, man, it's insane what actually goes on in this world and what they do to animals. And it was literally like next day, I was all right, we're going vegan. And that's exactly what I did. Lemmy, I got my dog here, Lemmy.
I know, he's beautiful. He's beautiful.
Between a cow and a dog, like, they're animals, they got feelings.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to support the killing of animals. I wouldn't kill one myself. I couldn't kill an animal myself to eat it.
Nor could I. Yeah.
For somebody else to do it for me and package it nicely and present it to me. It's just, yeah, it's just wasn't for me, and I'm glad I stopped.
It also has huge health implications. Have you ever read the China study?
No.
It's about I'll send you a link after. You'll love it. It's all about a guy who goes to China, these very small villages, and does studies on health, and why they don't have certain diseases and illnesses there, like cancers and heart disease and X, Y, and Z. I won't ruin the book for you. They live on a plant-based diet. And the book is, they've tried to, the big manufacturers have tried to like completely devalue the information of the book, saying it's a load of rubbish and stuff like that.
Of course
Fantastic read. It's called The China Study. I will send you over a link, and if anyone's watching this who wants to know anything about,
it's like the new food pyramid. it's sponsored by fucking dairy and meat companies. So of course dairy and meat are going to be at the top. Like,
Yeah.
what can people see? I couldn't give two fucks, to be honest with you. If you want to eat meat, that's fine. It's none of my business. I know I don't agree with it, but there's so many carnivores like go in on this vegans, and I'm just like, I couldn't give two fucking, like, fuck you. Like, if they always say, oh, how do you know a person's vegan because you're vegan? It's like, to be honest with you, you carnivores, that's all I ever hear. Cannibal. Like, you're just as fucking bad.
Everyone's, yeah.
The other way, it's like, I eat a vegan diet. Fuck you all.
Yeah.
Stop having a go at me. Why should my diet offend you? Why are you so offended by my diet? Why are you getting upset so tight about what I eat?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Well, what have I done to fucking hurt you? Is it guilt? Do you feel guilty because you fucking can't eat it, or the fact that you support the fucking murder?
Or scared of personal change. You know, that's another thing.
It's just mad how crazy people get offended because I choose to eat lettuce.
Do you get a lot of shit on social media about it?
No, I mean, I don't get me wrong. I've had a few over the years.
Yeah,
but I don't get it as bad as most because I don't really bang. I don't preach about it. I just do what I do. So I guess if you don't preach, you're not going to get the shit back.
To be honest, I would notice now that you're a vegan. I notice you the ultra athlete in you. I see all that stuff that comes through on your socials, which is insane when you look back to how you used to be. It's absolute beyond belief. And do you have any future plans, any future projects that you're going to be looking into?
I'm just it's for me now. It's just because I've started started Dirty Health with Craig Armstrong, which has been doing really well since we started it just over a year and a half ago. I really enjoy doing that, helping other people with their nutrition, the food, their training, and with our retreats that we started.
Okay.
There are wellness retreats this summer, last year, and they've pretty much they've been going really well.
Where are you doing them?
Doing them in the Gower Peninsula by Three Cliffs Bay. So we do them there. We get a lot of people together, and we go for like a 4 or 5 mile hike, and then we come back to camp then, and then we all do a HIIT workout, and from there go to the sauna, cold dip, and then we have a private chef that comes to the retreat. He cooks everybody dinner. We have some coffee and stuff around the campfire, cake, yoga, breath work, all that kind of stuff. And they've been really doing really well, and really enjoy hanging out with loads of new people. So I think that's what we're really concentrating on for 2026.
I think you've got a good time now because we've definitely seen it with this generation as well. The newer generations, they're definitely more health conscious.
Well, then,
not like us.
Not like us. I said to somebody the other day that like this new generation, then they're more. They don't party like what we.
No, not at all.
They're far more aware of the
consequences.
But they're flat out on the ketamine.
I know.
Some horrific stories online. So, man, that stuff ain't good, man.
It rips your stomach apart. And
I mean, it was big in the West End, wasn't it? Like, remember back in.
Well, funny you say that, Pritch, because I was in Ibiza when it was just pills, MDMA, and then this stuff called Ket started creeping in. And then one year it hit hard, and that was about 2006, 7, something like that. And I was like, how are they partying on this? It's horrible. And I noticed we did a boat party one year, and it was absolutely going. And you did your boats as well, didn't you?
Yeah.
And it was absolutely thumping. And then we did the boat party the next year, and had loads of people doing Ket on board, and the whole vibe was different. And I was like, how could you be doing Ket on a wobbly boat in a sea? You know? And I think that was caused a big change in Ibiza with the party mode. And I think it's more
either because I couldn't I couldn't operate on the stuff.
It's horrible.
Yeah.
Fucking horrible. Oh
Nothing.
God. You ever when you mix them up by accident? What's
The
some of that?
CK.
Oh yeah. I'll tell you a funny story. Talking of Bar M, I won't mention the DJ, but he was offered a cheeky one just before he went on to play his first ever set at Bar M, and it wasn't C, it was K, and he got up and he basically had a fucking wrong nightmare, and he could get taken off the decks and everything. But I won't continue. It's quite a well-known story, but yeah, his first ever set at Bar M.
It was Ibiza was the first place where I did it, but I didn't, and that happened to me. I know the guy who did it. We were in, we were playing pool somewhere. It was somewhere in West End, and he said, "Oh, do you want to see?" And then I did, and then I went to the pool table. I went, "Whoa, what the hell?"
Oh, it's horrible.
And I looked around, and the whole gang that he was with were all laughing. I'm like,
"Oh, they stitched you up, yeah."
It stitched me up, and that was the first time I ever did it. I said, "Christ, who the fuck hell does that shit?"
There used to be in one of the bars that I run, a few of the Welsh lads, funny enough, when they watch this, they'll know who it is. They used to do this to each other, right? If one of the lads went to the toilet, they'd drop like a fucking gram of MD in their fucking drink and just stir it up really quickly and walk away. And it was they used to do this all summer to everyone. And it was like if you left your drink unguarded, it was your own fucking fault. Yeah. And honestly, the fucking state I've seen some of the people, and they're like, "You fuckers, I'm gonna get you back." And he'd spend the next couple of weeks trying to get the person back. And it would always happen in the same pub, you know. And it was just brilliant. But could you imagine doing that nowadays?
No.
You could bang in trouble, wouldn't you?
No. I don't know. I mean, I don't agree with spiking, but
but at that time, Ibiza was really fucking extreme, and it was just like anything goes. And they all knew they were at it. Tell me more about YD, Sleep While You're Dead. How did that come about?
It was when we were filming Sanchez. We had to go and film, and then I was still going from the night before. Got in the car. Joyce said, "Man, you need to go to bed, dude." And I was like, "Oh, fuck off, Dan. I'll sleep when I'm dead." And they all laughed, and that's how Sleep When You're Dead started.
Right.
But I started with clothes and just stuff like that, really, and then going back and forth to Ibiza and going on the boat parties, because Lee John would take me on the Judgement boat party and a few others. And I thought, man, I love these boat parties. And I was like, I speak to my mate Doyle at the time and stuff. And wouldn't it be great if we did our own one? And they went over to sort of do some research and find out who would do the boats and everything, and dealt with Elko.
Yeah.
Then 2012, we did the first sunset boat, the Sleep When You're Dead sunset boat party, and we started off in Kenya, because Kenya was the pre-party.
Yeah.
And then we'd walk everyone all the way from Kenya.
Oof.
And I'd have my boom box, and the music was playing through the boom box, and we were all like sort of like serenading everybody to the boat, which was a fucking nightmare because it was so far away.
It was a long way away, isn't it?
And then we get on the boat, and out we went, but man, those days were just the best, man. It was just, I used to love doing those boat parties. And then 2000, it went really well, 2012, and then 2013, I thought, well, I'm not flying back and forth again. I might as well just go and do my first season in Ibiza at the age of 40. So I stayed at the apartments by I think it was Dana Pritchard, is it? Or she did a bar down the bay. Anyway, she got me a place there right next to Ocean, and that's the year Ocean opened. Was 2000.
Right. Okay.
So, no, 2013, sorry, was the second year of Ocean. So we just stayed there, and I did the whole season in Ibiza, and at the end of that season, then I just called it a day, because it was just...
It's hard work, isn't it? You know,
Yeah.
I mean, I go over there now when we're doing the work and the events that we've got, but still it takes me a couple of weeks to recover, and I don't even get on it anymore. Do you miss the party days?
Yeah, of course I do, yeah.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
I do.
Absolutely. Absolutely love them. What 1.5. I just can't do it anymore. As simple as
No.
that. I do it. I can't handle it, and it's not good for my health. I'm just
Yeah.
glad that I'm just glad that I had the opportunity to do it as much as what I did, because I guess a lot of people don't have that opportunity.
And what an opportunity you had. You were basically paid by one of the biggest TV companies in the world, or music channels in the world, to get smashed, do crazy things. They paid you. Did they pay you? Imagine, I saw not too long ago, you went back and you found one of the old houses that you stayed at.
Yeah,
Uh,
well, it's only done them not far from my house.
yeah. And
Yeah.
I think you was someone else as well. You were like, things that went on in here, and I was like, your neighbours must have been fucking. I bet they hated you.
Well, I bumped into the daughter of the parent that were living next door to that house, and she's a policeman now as well. And don't forget, the police had a van parked outside that house 24/7. One word of noise or complaint, they're coming in, we're arrested. So it was just mad, man. The things that used to happen.
And how long did you live there for?
The guy next door had a heart problem. We were, man, I just feel really bad now. We put him through so much shit, because they used to put the clothes on the line in the back garden. And Joycey took a shit once in his hand, and he just threw it in the air, and it all just went all over there. Went off their clothing, they're trying their clothing. I was like, oh God. Anyway, it was fun. It was wild.
I can totally identify with you. When we were doing like the parties in London, we just had no care about the neighbours, and then I looked back on it and I think, fucking hell, what we must have put those families through.
I mean, when you haven't got, I guess, when you haven't got anything, when you haven't got like a 9 to 5, and you haven't got to wake up and do that, it's just permission to go and do what the fuck you want, isn't it? And I guess that's why you end up doing what you do.
So the big lesson is, do you think everybody, I mean, you've totally reinvented yourself, and I think I have as well, which is another reason why I wanted to speak to you about this. Do you think anyone can do that?
Yeah, of course. You've
Yeah?
just got to want to do it. I mean, ever since, because I'm quite open about it on my socials and stuff, and I know there's a lot of people out there who are suffering right now, and they want to change. They were in the same place as what me and you were at one point. And I get so many DMs almost on a daily basis. So how did you do it?
How do you do it? Yeah.
You do it, and I'm just like, well, it's simple. It's not simple, but it is simple. It's like, fucking stop, and you
surrender.
And you just need to want to stop. If you've some little inkling that, maybe I'll just do it for a bit and then I'll have one pint. No, you fucking stop.
Absolutely.
If you don't stop, it'll be hard for a good few months, really hard. And you've got to just stay away from temptation, stay away from dickheads, and just focus on you, or just focus on getting better, doing exercise, having a good diet, maybe getting a therapist if you're that bad, or maybe going to AA or smart meetings or whatever, and just focus on moving forward and rejigging. It takes a while to sort of change that chemistry in your brain as well.
Absolutely.
The anxiety that I felt when I gave up, and just I had suffered really, really, really bad with anxiety, really, really, really bad, and it took a long time to start feeling any kind of normal off the back of it. And it was only like this summer last year that I started to realize that I'm sort of coming back a little bit. So it does take a long time, but I wanted to be normal again, so I just kept doing the work, and that work is, because people always say, well, what is the work? What is the work? It's no magic potion. It's no secret. It's just turn up every single day and do what you say you were going to do. Like for me, it's wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning, strict. Let's go. Do your stuff. Do your exercises. Drink plenty of water. Have a good, healthy diet. And just keep doing that. Keep doing it. Keep doing it. Keep doing it. Keep doing it. And all of a sudden, your brain is rewired and you're almost back to where you're not, never back to square one. Because I think you actually do a little bit of damage throughout those years, but
Yeah.
you're far better than where you were a year, 2 years, whatever it may be.
Your brain does rewire itself. That neuroplasticity, it does happen, but it takes time because you got to do it over and over and over again. And the way I did it was I went to AA, did the steps, and I read and I read and I read loads of different types of books, from Joe Dispenza through to Law of Attraction, and just very motivational books. But you are so I just want to go back on something you said there. If you do not surrender and you think there's the slightest inkling that you go, oh, there's this party this weekend, I might just go to that and then do it after. It's not your time. You have to be 100% rock bottom. That's what we call it in Alcoholics Anonymous. You have to hit your rock bottom. Like, I've had enough of having enough. I can't do this. I can't do this anymore. And I think if you're not there, you can't give up. I mean, is that what did you hit a rock bottom?
I wouldn't say I hit rock bottom, because if I hit rock bottom, I would have lost my house and I would have lost my fiance. That would have been rock for me. But
Okay.
I was on the process. I was in she was literally on her way out.
Yeah.
I was, my businesses and stuff was starting to suffer. A lot of things did suffer, but for me, it just, I couldn't carry on. I had to do something about it. So I did. And I couldn't go and have one drink now, because if I had one drink in my head, I've broken that seal, and I'd be pissed off because I've broken that seal. Like, fuck it. I'm going to go, because I thought of having because it'd be 2 by 3 pint bag. That equals 3 days. And I would have been, that's 3 days, I would have completely and utterly screwed it. And I would have lived with guilt for such a long time, and I would have just fucked it up. So I choose not, I would never say never, because anything could happen. But there's no way I ever want to go back to
Have you been completely clean since
2022?
Right, so you don't even have like a recreational drink or anything?
Oh, no.
Well done. Well done on that.
I have double zeros, 0.5s and stuff, but that's it, really.
Does that not trigger you at all?
No.
The non-alcoholic stuff?
It's good, because when I'm with people, especially if I'm out, because I wouldn't go out for a long time, for obvious reasons, but I can go out now and I can enjoy myself, and I'll have a double zero Guinness, and it just makes me feel like
and people don't ask you, do you want a beer? You want a beer? You know what I mean? But
people know that I don't drink.
Yeah. So you're right, though. You do have to change everything, and social circles. Did you have to change your social circles quite heavily to begin with?
Yeah. Like I said earlier, I've done a lot of work on myself. I look back, and the people that I don't need in my life anymore, they're gone. They won't be back. I'm quite happy with the people that I have around me, and that's all I need in life now. And, I got my missus, I got my dog, got my handful of friends. That's all I need.
And your projects.
And I'm happy. I got my I got big project work I'm working on this year now. I can't say anything yet, but it's really exciting, and that will be my focus then for the rest of my life. So
wow.
It's just I guess for this thing that I'm working on now, it's basically that thanks for all the work that I've put in over the years to get to where I am today, which is sort of my gift to me, and my sort of tap on the back and a well done, I guess. So I'm just really excited and looking forward to moving forward and having a healthier journey for the rest of my life, going that way.
I definitely think you're an inspiration to a lot of people, because even myself, I've seen like your videos when you wake up in the morning and you're doing like a workout in front of a shop, an old shop. Was it a shop?
I did burpees last summer. I was going to different places.
Yeah, that's right.
Burpees every morning and finding out the history of the place where it was at. I'm going to go back and do that again now.
It was really good. It was really, because you were like doing it at 4 a.m, weren't you?
I enjoyed it, man. But the thing is, it started getting dark, and yeah, the weather got shit. It started getting dark. I thought, oh, fuck this. I'll go back and do it when weather and it gets lighter again. This year.
And with your training, where do you train from the gym, or do you train at home, or do you do a bit of both? Everywhere, yeah. You do a lot of road work.
I like going to the gym because it's my because it's somewhere I can go and I can socialize.
Yeah,
That's really important for me, because when my anxiety was so bad, I couldn't go into the gym and other places was just I used to force myself. I used to go early in the morning to a JD I used to be in, and the thought of bumping into people was just like, nah. It's to try and, it's weird saying it, but I try and hide away from everybody. But now, because I'm a member of the gym Ion, and I've got to know a lot of people there, and it's brilliant. I train with loads of others, and I go to Pump Club on a Saturday, and we do Hyrox stuff on a Tuesday morning, and it's, for me, it's like, fuck, I never thought I'd ever be able to do this again.
What is Hyrox? I've heard a lot about this. We don't have it over here.
Well, it's just you do a row, and then you do a run, and then you come back, and then you do wall balls, and you come back, do another run. So it's run, workout, run, workout, run, workout. I think
right.
Hair running, and a load of different kettlebells, skiing, rowing, all that kind of stuff.
When you mention you having anxiety, I suffer from anxiety as well, and that's a big reason why I drank. And I didn't realize that I drank to cover the anxiety. And when I had my hangovers, because I was getting on it so much for over so many days, I'd have the hangover, but then it'd last 3 days. But then when I finished drinking, I realized that the hangover wasn't all a hangover. It was a hangover and anxiety. So it was triggering that knot in my stomach, and I just couldn't clear it. But the only thing that would clear it would be a beer. So I'm totally with it. Is that your sort of anxiety? Would you drink to cover it?
Yeah. I drink. Yeah, I just fucking love drinking as well.
Yeah, no, it's great. Great at drinking.
I'd be on it for days, and then the anxiety was just incredible, man. And sometimes I couldn't even go to the local shop to go and get myself food, because and sometimes if I do force myself out, I'm by the till, and there was a lot of people queuing to use the till, my anxiety, I could feel it building. And then when they asked for how much it is, I'd be shaking in my wallet, trying to drop everything. I'm like, fucking, and in my panic, I'd make it worse, because I think people are looking at me, which they clearly were. They're like, fucking hell, what's wrong with him? So that's how bad my anxiety. I couldn't wait to get out the fucking shop. I was just like,
that's crazy, considering what you used to do in front of everyone on TV, millions.
Like when I was in Ibiza and stuff, like, you can imagine the amount of anxiety and panic attacks I used to have out there because of what we used to get up to.
Yeah.
I even used to make sure I'd have a few beers before I even go out, before I could, my social anxiety was off fucking charts. Couldn't air being around anyone unless I was under the influence.
Me too. I was completely functional alcoholic over there. I was like, I would come back, I'd sleep, try and sleep, wake up, still feeling exhausted. And then the first thing I'd do is go and get a beer when I woke up, and then go back into town, and I'd end up hitting it again, or try and find my car, which I'd lost for a few days, and it's just fucking one thing after another. So how have you dealt with the anxiety thing then? Because you haven't gone down the pharmaceutical, you're more natural.
I just, as long as I look after myself and keep going and just doing what I'm doing, I'll be fine. I still get, like I said, it's improved 80% compared to how I used to have it. I still have anxiety, depending what it is, because I overthink so badly. I'll overthink myself into anxiety.
Okay.
I'll be completely fine, and then I think, well, what if I have an anxiety attack when I do this, and then when I do that thing, and then I'll get anxiety because my brain has told me.
Overthinking can be an absolute killer.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know. And I'm like, I'll always get over it. As soon as that passes, I'm fine then.
Yeah.
It's just the initial, I've driven myself so far up the wall. But it's bonkers, man. Well, your brain is such a fucking weapon.
It is, and it's. I
You
think
know,
a lot of us have abused the brain so much over the last 20, 30 years, and now I think it does do a bit of damage. You know, when they were saying in the 90s, like ecstasy is going to have long lasting effects and stuff like that. Well, to be honest, I think it does. It has, but my memory is absolutely terrible. I don't know what your memory is like.
my mem's it's the worst.
Absolutely appalling. The people around me are always lecturing me on me forgetting things. I have to write everything down. And yeah, I think that your brain is a very delicate instrument, and I think us force feeding it such a huge amount of alcohol and chemicals over the years, it's going to have some effect, isn't it?
Yeah, of course it is.
Yeah.
I mean, if
So,
you feed it positive shit, you're going to get positive out, don't you?
so what's it feel like having these two? Do you feel like when you look back, it's like a completely different person, yeah, than you are now?
Like it was weird, man. Whilst going through sobriety, I was going going through a full spiritual awakening as well, which sort of happened a little bit before my sobriety, and so I'd say the last 4 years were just, it was, I wouldn't say hell, but they weren't the best at all. Everything was going wrong, financially, just like mentally, just everything. It just felt like I was constantly fighting. Constantly fighting.
And this is when you were still getting smashed, yeah. Those years, or
that year up to when I started sobriety, and then the 3 years after. So it said,
right.
4 years. So it was getting smashed, and then having to go through sobriety and completely sort my life out. And it's just when you you just feel like you're so alone, and you're fighting this spirit. That's mad. It's fucking. I can't even explain it. But now that I've come out of that, I just feel so much. Because when you go through so much shit, you just feel so much stronger when you come out the other side.
Yeah.
So much better. And I look back now at the person that I was, and I'm just a completely different person now. I'm just, that person's gone. He's just completely gone.
Yeah.
I'm not complaining, because he was, I had a fucking ball. It was great.
You'll never shut the door on it, because you look back and go, wow, that was absolutely amazing. That's what I do.
It feels like feel like I'm proper wise now. I've gone through so much in life, like we all have at our age, I guess.
Yeah.
And I come out the other, I just feel like such a better person for it, wiser and smarter, and yeah.
And now you're offering through your socials and through your books and through programs that you do, making the food. I didn't realize that you were your food. I didn't realize you were a chef by trade either. So
I went to college for 2 years after school.
Okay.
I wouldn't call myself an amazing chef, no, but I just enjoy cooking. I don't call myself a chef. I call myself a cook. Chef.
Yeah.
Chef for people that go to work, slave over the stove for fucking hours on end, and that's that. And that's a chef. I'm a cook. I enjoy cooking. And I did go to college after school, and that was my intention, to become a chef, but life took me in a different,
very much of a different route. And so that was what you were trying to jazz up vegan food. Is that what the whole idea was when you brought out your YouTube channel, to make it a little bit more exciting?
I wasn't trying to jazz up vegan food, because I mean, vegans and veganism have such a bad name for being boring people who just eat shit, boring food. And I was like, well, veganism and vegans are not fucking boring. They're, I'm a vegan. I can have a laugh, and what I eat, I really enjoy.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to spice up veganism a bit and just bring a bit of edginess to it, and that's why I started Pritchard's proper vegan cooking, because I follow a lot of vegan channels on YouTube before I started doing it, and I'm like, man, there's a market here for somebody to come to this, bring a bit of excitement, a bit of comedy, have a bit of a laugh, because everyone else was so goddamn fucking serious.
Yeah.
That's what I do.
I've actually been looking at your YouTube channel, because you haven't posted on it for ages, have you?
No, I wish I had an editor and a filmer, because it takes, you do it. It takes so much time to film and edit and post. And I mean, I'd love to. It's an aim that I'd like to get more content out of my YouTube channel, but
Because you've got a good following there, and the thing is, you need a camera crew. You need because you had someone else filming, didn't you? Or were
I do it all myself.
you were filming? Did you edit yourself as well?
No, when we were the first Pritchard's proper vegan cooking, they was doing it with 2 others. They would
Right.
film and stuff.
Okay.
But it costs so much money, man. Like, for people to film and edit.
Yeah.
It's I'm the kind of person that, again, if I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it properly. So I would film every single fucking day.
Yeah.
Recipe every day. But if I did a fucking recipe every single day, the amount that would, the price would be astronomical. And I couldn't afford to pay that.
The time of the time that you make, say this video we're doing now, hour. I mean, but it would take over 12 hours to sort out, and once I've done the B-rolls and everything, and it's a bit of a passion project for me, but it's the editing, it's the killer, to have it,
making it sound like you make sense of it all. And not just that, it's the posting, then you've got to post it, and then you've got to reply to the comments. It's a full-time job.
It is totally a full-time job, and it's not cheap. It's not cheap at all.
Yeah.
So what is your most proudest thing in your career that you've achieved? I mean, you've done a lot.
That's a good question. I'd say, considering when I went to school, and I was constantly told that I would never make anything of myself, and to be able to have done what I have done, that for me is, that puts a big smile on my face, because I never thought I'd ever do half the stuff that I've done. It's just, I know it's mental, man. I sort of look back and I'm like, whoa, man, do you really do that? Did a film, did a few TV shows, been in a film, done numerous challenges, like had various businesses, and it's, I just never thought I'd ever have any of it. So just all of it, really. I'm proud of all of it.
No, well done. As I said, I always do quite a lot of research into people I speak to, even though I think I know who they are and what they've done. But when I started doing yours, I was just like, oh, he's done that as well, and that as well, and that as well. Didn't realize he was a pro skateboarder. Knew he was into skateboarding. Didn't really know how Dirty Sanchez started. I had a funny feeling it might have something to do with Jackass, because it was around the same time. And it's been. I've never had to write so many notes on somebody. So
I'm still going to continue to push the boundaries. I'm not going to stop, because that's what. Sometimes pushing it as much as what I do does make me ill sometimes, but I can't help it. That's just me, man. I will keep
ill
pushing.
Physically or mentally?
Both.
Yeah.
I go. I can go crazy.
Yeah.
And then poof, last week, pretty much. That's what happened last week.
You just go into like a dark place.
Yeah, I just go. It's something. I'm changing accounts of my bank and my business and stuff, and the bank really screwed everything up, and my head I couldn't deal with it.
Yeah.
And that I broke down, started crying my eyes out, couldn't handle it. And I've hit the wall.
Yeah, it's hard.
Last week was pretty much, I just fucking pretty much almost locked myself away. And I was like, but I know now. I just happened so many times. I just go, right, it's cool. That's what's happened. Get back out again. get back on it, get back on the horse. And I got back on the horse in the day, and it's all good now.
Brush yourself down, yeah.
I'll go again, and then wait for me to fucking hit a wall again. But it's
So
that's the
Let's
pattern.
That's weird you say that, because this is like a closing question. So if someone that was watching this felt trapped right now in a lifestyle that they think they've outgrown, or they know they've outgrown, what would be the first step that you'd tell them to take?
Well, if they're not doing any exercise, that would be the first thing.
Agreed.
Pick up, go to the. Don't have to be the gym. Do
Go
it
for a
now.
walk.
Go. That's one. That's one. Like that's what I just when I lost my head the other day. When I broke down, I put my trainers on. And I walked up the door. I went out the door, went for a walk, and then 11 miles later I came back. And I had 2 big blisters on the soles of my foot. I was like, "You fucking dickhead!" But then and that's when I got pissed and I stayed away. But just do exercise, man. Go for a walk, and if you are drinking or doing narcotics or whatever it may be, fuck, knock that shit on the head, man.
And don't do it by yourself, because we don't do things. We haven't got very good self-control. I always
have a support network, a really good friend, or your missus.
Yeah.
Like my missus was amazing through my sobriety. She was just the best. So, she stopped drinking because I did, and she was there all the time. She didn't have to, but she did. I told her, like, you carry on, don't stop to me. She did. It's having people like that by your side, which is
exactly. I find it's impossible to. I tried so many times to stop by myself, but my self-will was just not strong enough. But if you've got that support mechanism around you, it's so much easier. Just picking up a phone to someone, going out for a walk. Like I always say, like going to the gym. If I had a shit day at work, I still work in the music business. It's stressful at times, and I think sometimes I go to the gym, and then you can't package. If you could package that feeling up in a pill and give it to someone and say, take that, and then after you've done 45 minutes in the gym, hour in the gym, you feel great. Don't you? I know I do. I just feel my mind's clear. I get fresh ideas. If you could bottle that, that would be amazing.
The thing is, a lot of people don't know how good you feel with good hydration, good diet, and plenty of exercise. They don't know because they've never been there. They've never felt it. A lot of people think you're talking out your ass.
Yeah.
You're not. To get to that feeling, you have to fucking do the work. You've got to keep fucking chipping away, and it's not going to happen like that.
No.
It's not going to happen in one workout and one salad. It's numerous fucking salads, numerous workouts, and fucking, when I say salad, I'm taking the piss. There's numerous fucking salads, numerous workouts, a year, 2 years down the line, that you'll start reaping the fucking, hang on a minute, you'll look back and go, what? I've been fucking feeling really good for the last few fucking months. And then that's when you realise it's working and it's doing its job.
Yeah, because I eat really clean, and I know sometimes my skin completely cleaned up. There was none of the spots and stuff when I was eating the shit food from before. When I was drinking, didn't have all that sugar content in me. But you know what? When I go to the gym and I don't, that feeling like you can't be arsed. You really can't be arsed. I think, and that's when I always say to my dad, that's the time you've got to push yourself to do it, because that's when you get the biggest reward. And then I always think about that. If it's a pill and you took this pill and 45 minutes later you're going to feel buzzing, would you do it? I'll be like, yeah. And that's how I get myself either to the gym when it was open, or when I do it at home now with the body exercises. But Pritch, you've been amazing. Thank you for talking so openly about your journey and your multiple chapters of your life. Do you have a favorite chapter?
I just really like where I'm at now. Quite happy. The peace.
Wow, cool, man. You're grateful, yeah?
Yeah, grateful that I managed to pull myself out of that hole, man. And onwards and upwards.
Yeah,
here we go.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you so much for joining me on this.
Thanks, mate.
You take care. Cheers, buddy.
Take it easy.